Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta, ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. Oh, okay. It looks like we're alive. Okay, so still can't trade gold. I was literally on top step thing and don't know if you could see it, but well, let me see if you can see it. That's a good thing to do. Okay. Can't. Yeah, see, volatility update restricting blah blah blah, and I go over here. Well, I clicked on their link, which then took me to risk adjustments, high risk, high volatility. Oh boy, sounds like it was barking again. 1 second. Get your race and go play outside. Okay, so um, yeah, so it says blah blah blah. Protecting your account during periods of extreme market volatility. So, but I don't know what they're talking about. High volatility. I mean, we're not before we were trading in the 24,000s, but now we're just trading in like the hundreds, the thousands. This is normal. This is very normal, and it's not gapping like it was the other day. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say historic losses. Like, for example, this is a very obvious example of that. I mean, look at this. Can I zoom in? Can I Wow. Okay, 1 second. This price closed up here. Then actually, guess it did gap. It skipped all the way down here, and then it just dropped, and then it just dropped. This is an example of that extreme volatility. For it dropped for no good reason. It started up here, right? It started up here, and then it was here at 29:36 and then 7:30:01. Okay, this must have been a news event. This was news event. 7:30, and so all of this happened within the same minute. But so that looks like it was a news event, to be honest, though. Uh it did the same thing earlier. That's news. It did this morning when it just kind of dropped, and if you measure that, is it? Oh yeah, the market's already open. We'll look at what's going on. But yeah, so it dropped like 343 ticks in a single minute. Um, yeah, those kind of things. Okay, so let's draw our high and low. This will be easy because we can clearly see our high and pre-market high and pre-market low. So we're gonna go here and okay, I think that's where it's supposed to go. And then we're gonna draw the other one, which the high is then gonna be literally right here. Okay, and there you have your high and your low. Let's measure that. Let me guess. 1,000. Just random guess. Nope, I was off. I was off by a lot. 708. So let's write that out. What news event was to? Oh, not that. No. What news event was today? I guess Top Step would tell me though. According to Top Step, the news event was unemployment rate, payrolls, average earnings, which if I go to my, I can't, oh, there's my chart. There's my economic calendar. Go to my economic calendar. Today's Wednesday. Yep, same thing. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. So we'll just say news at 7:30. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. Okay. Can't really see any of that. There you go. Okay. So I was I'm still taking screenshots of my RSI strategy. I need to make a copy of this whole screen, this whole everything, so that I can, um, 1 second. Yeah, I need to make a copy of everything so that I can, not have to switch between like, oh, I gotta go over to the 10. Where is the 10 tick? Yeah, I have to go over to the 10 tick chart and then be like, oh, I gotta go back down here. It's annoying, but I just keep that out of the way. So looking over here, this is our, hold on, let me do this because otherwise it's going to be brutal. Okay, now it should be okay. Okay, so just last night, I was looking for the same pattern, so I marked out a couple of things that happened, a number of things that happened. Okay, so this was last night, starting here. So our our high was all the way up here. So let's keep that in mind. And I took notes. So first at 7, we did have a sweep of the high. Sorry, we had a sweep of our liquidity right here. We swept above. We did sell, but the problem was we were not overbought when we swept, even though it did sell. Then we have another instance of that where we swept above, we sold, we swept above, and we did sell, but the RSI was not overbought. Then this push right here is where we actually swept the New York high. But if you look at the timestamp, this was at like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're in a London session right now. So I was looking for a sweep of the New York high or low, but this sweep finally happened during a completely, because okay, if you're in the Asia session, you're looking for a sweep, you're looking to see how price reacts around the previous session. So even though I circled this, I don't even think this should be valid because it was way past, like if it swept during the Asia session, that would make more sense to be saying, okay, we swept the New York during the Asia, but to sweep the New York during the London, skipping the Asia, doesn't make sense. So I circled it, but it obviously was not a good trade. Then we have another instance where we swept. This is your liquidity. We swept the liquidity and then we bought up. But what happened? If you come over here, the RSI was not oversold. And then we have another instance where we actually swept above liquidity, but then we chopped, and the RSI is also not overbought. So that's 4 instances where the RSI, um, that's 4 instances where the RSI, um, or where we swept liquidity, but the RSI didn't agree with overbought or oversold in that sweep. So now we come over to present day. Okay, we have liquidity here. We haven't swept anything. We have liquidity here. It looks like we swept and we did sell. This looks weird. Okay, yeah. Here's one right here. We swept above, right? We're not overbought, but we did sell back down. So that's what is that? So that's five instances where we're getting liquidity, but there's no RSI confirmation. Okay, here's one that's happening as we speak. Here's our liquidity. We just swept it. Let's see if we can get, oh, hold on. Let's see if we can get an RSI confirmation of this. Let's see. Because there's also liquidity down here as well. Let's see. Okay, we just tapped that to being over sold. So there's your trigger effectively. Well, let's see what happens because there's more liquidity sitting down here from all the way at 7:30. Yeah, I woke up, I got on the charts, it was calculating things, but I was looking at stuff, and then I just came back from the park. Um, yeah, I just came back from the park with Pop. Do you think we're gonna make it down here? Because we've swept this. Okay, so there's your buy. If okay, why didn't that put me in? Seriously? Come on, man. Well, maybe it doesn't go. Okay. It's a good thing I did not hit that button multiple times. Okay. So then you're going to place your stop loss down here. And your stop loss is going to get hit in 2 seconds. And then 30. Okay. Yeah, let's see what okay, that was bad. Really bad. I don't know why it didn't take me out. Okay, so that one clearly failed. Swept this liquidity, but there's liquidity down here. This one failed. Let's see if we make it down to this. Yikes. I want to see a sweep of this one. All right, so we're coming down to this little bit of liquidity. Okay. Come on. Nice sweep. Nice sweep. Let's see if it rejects it quickly. Hmm. There's your buy. Why did it put me way up there? Have no clue. Okay. Stop loss below that. Take profit to something. I don't know. Just some random number. Just pick a random number, guys. Okay. Oh, picking random numbers works apparently. Anyways, no, so I want to see 1, 2. 1, 2, 3 would be good, but let's see what it does. Because we are sell heavy. Crazy that it's right there, but it was a negative 20 for some odd reason. Some odd reason. What was I saying? Yeah. So, wow. Okay. There's one brick down, another brick, and you're toast. Wasn't a bad entry though. It was actually pretty decent. So yeah, if you were targeted, because I am targeting 2 bricks. So that actually wasn't just a random placement. That's actually a 2 brick target. So we'll see if it actually goes up. It almost did. Looks like it wanted to, and then it didn't. Anyways, to create a brick, I mean, that should have taken me out. I don't know why it didn't. That's insane. That's up 40 ticks. It was literally up 40 ticks. I don't know why it didn't take me out. Okay, it just did. So, okay, so I'm gonna log this. I'm actually gonna log a couple of these things. So let us start by drawing arrows and writing stuff. Okay. Because one of my things is like, okay, the sweep has to include an overbought or oversold, but a lot of these aren't. Like this one didn't, but then this one did, but then it was bad, you know? Let's draw an arrow here, and then let's draw an arrow here, right there. Okay. Okay, let's start writing stuff. Okay. So sweep and sell RSI. What was the RSI? At 61. Okay, and then we have a sweep. Hold up. Sweep and buy failed. Targeted liquidity below, which it did. Targeted liquidity below. And then swept liquidity and bought. And then I'm just gonna circle what the RSI was looking like. So right here, the RSI was over sold. And then and then right here, the RSI also oversold. And let me do one more circle right here. RSI was not. And then I'll write another note. Note. This is 5 of this 5 instances since last night where liquidity sweep was good, but RSI was in 60s or 37 or 30s, not OSOB. Okay. I'll say 4. All right, now I'm gonna screenshot this, download image. Okay, let's get this and move this over. All right, so I'm gonna draw like a line. Oops. I'm just gonna set my alerts for if the market crosses something, and then I'll come back. But I'm not gonna sit here because I actually do need to do some work because I didn't do anything yesterday. And when I mean anything, I didn't do anything yesterday. Shh, okay. Paste. What time is it? It's almost 9. I'll say 9. There, here's our picture. So we got everything in the picture. I like to also just like, I like to basically narrate um what I gosh. Yeah, so I like to narrate like what I'm like the thought process, what's going on with the trades and stuff, just so that I can, you know, break it down and so into what that means. So let me do that real quick. All right, so right before, well, right around, it's like 7:45 or so. So we had another instance. So actually, there have been 5 instances. 4 of them were good, but 5 instances total where we swept. Then we swept liquidity, and it did end up selling or buying, even though the RSI was not overbought or oversold. So that's 5 instances. 4 of them actually went. The other one was chopped. The other one, the one where it didn't, it was chop. Then we come down and we sweep a form of, so market opens, we sweep liquidity. We do a liquidity sweep, very thin liquidity sweep, but we do a liquidity sweep. We become oversold on the RSI, and so I bought on that first Renko breakup, but it failed. And one key thing was there, it was another liquidity pool sitting at the below. So like we were about 1, 2, 3, about 60 ticks away from this from this other liquidity pool. So instead, I once I lost that one, once it immediately failed, I sold down to that liquid. This is all paper trading. I sold down to that other bit of liquidity. It swept that liquidity. Then I bought on the next green, and it's still buying. So, very interesting stuff here. That one where it swept some thin liquidity, but it was a big sweep too, like not just like a sweep and go. It was like it just powered right through it, like it didn't exist at all. um yeah, oh yeah, it powered through it like it didn't exist at all and came down to the other one and did an actual sweep. I wonder what I need to do, like say, okay, what determines a sweep and what determines complete just annihilation of that level altogether. Because in this case, we swept one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 breaks down, which is the equivalent of 80, no, which is the equivalent of 160 ticks. Oh, yeah, it's equivalent of 160 ticks down before we got that pullback. And so it's like, if it sweeps 160 ticks, is that really even a sweep? Because the other ones I'm seeing, there's a 40 tick sweep. Let's go back to some of the other ones. Some of the other ones I marked out. Where are they? Like here's one, a sweep of 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 80 tick sweep. Here's a 20 tick sweep, but that's one that didn't go. And then what else do we have? We have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We have like an 80 or 100 tick sweep that did go. We have a 60 tick sweep that did go. So, yeah. So there are, what's this? Here's an instance. Yesterday, we swept and it didn't buy, but there was also liquidity sitting below. It came and it swept that liquidity and then it bought, but it chopped first and then it bought. So I guess that could be another thing to look for, is if there's liquidity sitting below another one, maybe don't try to get in there, because that just happened today and it also happened yesterday as well. I'm just seeing an example of that yesterday. Anyways, just gathering information. It's like 9 o'clock. I need to eat some breakfast because. All right, so let me just read what I just dictated all of that to ChatGPT. So let's see if it can pull together any insight from that rambling. Okay. So it says this is good, this is real research, blah blah blah. Okay. The failed one wasn't random. The failed oversold sweep. It failed because there was untouched liquidity sitting right below. That's not random. That's unfinished business. Kind of how we just saw, like right here. We swept liquidity, but there's also liquidity sitting right here. Um, yeah, exactly. Um, okay, moving on. And press A, not done yet. Okay. Ran 160 ticks to the next pool. Well, okay. Setup was early. Okay, sweep versus annihilation. You asked something really sharp. If it sweeps 160 ticks, is that really a sweep? That's the right question. The difference between stop run exhaustion and level break displacement continuation. A sweep usually tags the level, runs slightly beyond, shows rejection or loss of momentum, RSI, extreme plus stall. Um, 8 breaks 160 ticks blasting through. That's not a sweep, that's displacement. That's the level didn't hold liquidity. It was thin. Exactly, the liquidity was extremely thin. Um, uh, that's why the next liquidity pool became the real reaction point. So maybe if one future filter becomes if displacement exceeds blah blah blah, treat as continuation, not reversion. Nested liquidity, big insight. That's the power part. If liquidity is sitting below another pool, maybe you don't enter the first one. Yes, Stack liquidity changes probabilities. Think of it like gravity. Okay. Yeah, if there's a larger magnet 60 ticks below, price is more likely to overshoot the smaller magnet. So on refinement, sweep plus RSI extreme, but no major liquidity directly beneath for longs or above for shorts. Okay. Side sweep. Bigger pattern forming. What you're really building now is sweep plus extreme plus no stack liquidity beyond plus controlled displacement. That's structure, not random RSI. Yeah. So again, we're just building data, but from where I entered, right? Where did I enter? I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a real entry, but see, entered all the way down here, and entered all the way down here. Was it negative for a little bit? Was it a little scary? Yes, but then, it's up 200 ticks from that point. So, yeah, it's not bad. It isn't bad at all. Um, but yeah, so again, very thin liquidity versus a little bit more liquidity sitting down here. We kind of just destroyed this, and it wasn't a so all of this is just data gathering, and we're just gathering information. So next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna do our break and retest strategy. So in order to do that, I need to drag the lines out just a little bit. Like a lot, not a little bit. I need to drag them out like a lot because I don't know how long, because this is a 700 tick range. I don't know how long we're gonna sit in a 700 tick. What? 1 second. Please hold. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how long we're gonna sit in a 700 tick range. So we're just gonna oops. Okay, so yeah, so we're just gonna let it do its thing, and I'm gonna set an alert. The line is so I can see it on a visual. The alert is so I can hear it. Pup, what are you eating? Pop, what is that, buddy? Oh, it's your bone. Okay. Thought it was eating a cookie, and I was like, I didn't give you a cookie. Okay. Here we go. So alerts. I will unplug my headphones so I can hear. And yeah, I will just let this keep running, and we will be back when something happens. Maybe if not at all. Okay. think I'm gonna. I don't want to be. Who sent me an email? Oh, I don't want to have to be disturbed by this hitting RSI constantly. It's probably gonna turn down the volume, and then I can always just come back and check it. So that's what I'm gonna do. gosh, I was sitting wrong. My neck hurt. Okay, so I just got done sending a case out. Oh, let me move. Let's get rid of this. I kind of have low key have a headache. Low gal. Yeah, I kind of have a headache just a bit. I'm cold. It's like 77 in here, so I have the fan on because it's 77, but I also have goosebumps and I'm just freezing. I'm wearing like a long sleeve, not long sleeve, it's like a sweatshirt. Not heavy, but not light. Anyways, freezing, absolutely freezing. Okay, so what happened? Um, yeah, let's talk about what happened. Okay, so similar instance right here. We swept, but the sweep was only like in the 30s, at 34. It popped up just a little bit, just a little bit, but then it came down again and then it went back up. See, and then what you have is why is it so cold? Okay, so now we have sell side liquidity here, so we'd have to sweep that and then see what we do. Let's see what we do if we sweep this. Because if we can sweep, because you can see it clearly right here. Right here, this is prime, this is peak. Um, so you can see that there's sell side liquidity. So if we could sweep above it, because that's where people are placing their stops, if you can sweep it, then you can sell, maybe. Um, and then again, there's also buy side liquidity sitting right here based off of probably like a lot of this. And did I? Oh yeah, I just talked about that. So it's sitting around roughly in the same area this was, and this was kind of weak because it didn't quite push. It had to go deeper. So this might be a deep sell. So if we can make it up here, we might sell pretty hard back to this if we can make it up there. But I'm gonna shut down this live stream. It's been going for almost 2 hours, and I don't see us sweeping any of this. I like how we ran all the way back up here and then we said nah and came all the way back down. So with that in mind, there's just nothing to report. Nothing to report in that manner. I do want to see what happens here, but I'll keep I'll come back and check it and stuff, but um cold, so cold. Wonder if targeting liquidity is yeah. Okay, anyway, so my point is the point was um yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. That's what I came on here to say. And that I have a headache and I don't really want to work because why? Literally, work consists of dragging and dropping emails. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm dragging and dropping emails into stuff. And then I leave like a little note that says, oh, this is what happened in this case. That's literally all work is. And it's irritating me. It's very irritating because still restricted. Yeah. See, the thing that's confusing is this is green. Market status is open, but you still can't trade it. I wish they would just say, just make it all red. Just, I don't know. It's so sad. Can't trade gold. And a lot of people do trade the metals, like gold. I think someone was complaining. They were like, they specifically trade silver, and then they couldn't trade. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of sucky for everybody who trades metals. So okay, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. Go, go, go. We'll keep an eye on this. I did, so I think I was saying earlier, I applied to a job this morning, and there was like one other person that had applied, and the job was posted like 13 hours ago. So they actually emailed me today, which is a miracle because what? They emailed me like at 9:30 and they were like, do you want to do a call tomorrow at noon? And I was like, oh, maybe I was a little too enthusiastic, but I was like, yes, please. So one or two things it could be. So sometimes a contracting company, they they haven't secured the contract, but they're trying to secure the contract. So what they'll do is they'll post the job for whatever it is they're trying to secure, which in this case would be my position, and then they'll get people on board, and so that if they, are presented with, hey, you guys might get this contract, it looks better for them because okay, you already have people who are highly qualified to do the job, so your chances of getting the contract are better, and then you already have people lined up, and then you're not in a scramble like, oh no. So that could be what it is people looking to, what was I saying? Yeah, so it literally could be people who are looking to just, you know, go for contracts, and they're just looking for anybody to fill in, to say that they have people, or best case scenario, they're actively already have a contract and they desperately need somebody. That's best case scenario. So yeah, that's what that is. Uh, ouch. So that's tomorrow at noon. Um, yeah. So today's goals are just gonna be checking this, checking this here and there, not here and there, but like checking it actually. Yeah. So we'll be checking um this, and then we'll also be working, which is literally dragging and dropping. Ugh, so annoying. Literally dragging and dropping emails into a folder. It literally just it gives me a headache because it's so boring. Anyways, maybe we'll watch that in real time. So I don't know if you saw, but this came up here and then it spiked down really fast and then came back up again. So I don't know if that was an initial liquidity grab, like if there was maybe some liquidity sitting a little bit lower, like right here, and then it dumped and then it's coming up again. So this could be your sweep right here. I want to see it go above. This could be that sweep. Oh, there you go. So there's potentially your sweep if that was the sweep. Okay, we might be seeing something unfold in real time instead of in hindsight. Because we want to see quick, quick reversals, not reversals, but like a quick reversion after that initial sweep, like a little sweep, got liquidity, boom. Oop, almost there, not quite. The only thing is that we have not hit an over. This is one of those, right, where we swept, but we haven't hit an overbought condition in that sweep, and that's something that I'm very interested in playing around with, because this is another instance where we swept, but we didn't hit an oversold condition. We just swept, but are we gonna hit an oversold condition? And I don't know. Oh, sorry, overbought. I'm always mixing the two up for some odd reason. Looks like we got another one. Come on, one more, one more. It's just sitting. And it's not going. Okay. But yeah, so now I got a text message. Yeah, my T-Mobile bill. There you go. Now we're over. Bought. Okay, now we're overbought. So that's the setup you want to see. So let's see if we sell down from there. I don't know. It seems to be pushing up quite nicely. I don't see any, I don't see any, heavy wicking rejection candles over here. See, we might have just accepted this, we might have just accepted the high. We might have just accepted this because if it was a liquidity grab, shouldn't it have been quick, right? Like a quick pop up, doesn't hover around too long, and then, okay, we reject. But if it doesn't do that, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait for see what this one does. And then if it doesn't do anything, I will. Oh wow. Looks like we are accepting that. Okay. So yep, and we're came and touched the top of that 15-minute range, which could be also where people are taking more interest, right at the top of a 15-minute range. Okay. So this is one of those, right? We swept it, but then, it looks like we swept it in some form of an acceptance, but we still gotta watch it. I want to see what the next, if we get a red brick, what it does. That's all. Oh, there you are. This one. Hmm. Oh wow. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Okay. Mm. and it is corresponding with this. So is a this is an A plus test. Test is failing. Okay, that should take me out. Oh, it's just barely above the line. That should take me out. That should have taken me out. So very odd. Okay, so we already just got another break, which is where your stopwatch should have been. So this would have been a fail. This would have been a fail. There you go. But I don't know where we're targeting after this. But that one's a loss. There's no turning back. See, so if you notice, we swept this, but it was holding very well. It wasn't a quick sweep go, right? It was a very strong build back, a strong build up. So I need to mark that. Yeah, so yikes. Why is that so loud? But yeah, so basically, something else I need to consider, right? So this was between here and here was about 7 minutes while I don't believe that a sweep it should be lasting 7 minutes, right? Maybe a minute or two, but 7 minutes. So this one clearly was just disregarded this liquidity zone and just continued to buy right out of it. So even though again we were over bought, we disregarded it and we just continued to buy. We are overbought though, but that doesn't matter because we can stay overbought for quite some time. And I wonder if it may be one of those where it doesn't go the first time, it goes the second time, but I'm trying to capture quick sweeps of liquidity. I don't know why we'd be going to do a double take, you know. So I'm just gonna write all that out. Let's do that. Because we have some buy side liquidity here, it looks like, which means we could come all the way back down here. This could be a target to sell. Okay. Okay, so I would like what are we even doing? Okay, so basically I want to note how that it was not just a sweep with a rejection. It was clearly holding above the level over several minutes. Um yeah, that's what I need to say. Okay.
There's an ocean so dark down below the waves, where you watch while these dreams gently float away. There's a silence so soft, it's only memory, like the way your voice always sounds when you sing to me. But I can't hear it now. Just tell me how to keep breathing while pretending I'm not drowning. I don't know if I could watch the door close for good, 'cause I couldn't keep it open. I just watched as the door closed for good, 'cause
That's
I couldn't keep it open.
right, so I should have a quick question for this. Okay, what is the difference between if we swept liquidity versus what would the other option be? Sweeping liquidity, but what if we just break through it and then we kind of hold for several minutes? Acceptance. Ah, acceptance. Okay, so break and hold versus acceptance, and then a sweep, stop, and rejection behavior. Okay. Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's what happened here where we broke, but then we, which is like a break and hold, not a sweep. Very important. If we break and hold versus acceptance, let me say 1 second. Okay, let me finish this. Was there any more? I have to get this one too. Won't you hold like you hold me then? I want you to lose like I lose when I play.
What could have been?
She swept here at 37 and then swept again at 38. Oops.
You walk along the edge of danger, and it will change you. Why would you let this voice set in your head? It is meant to destroy you. You summon storms, you play with nature. Now watch it hurt you. Why would you want to shake the world in your hands? You will never make it through.
Okay. Whatever. Okay, so let me just do that, this, and this. Did I copy that? Okay, so we're just gonna get this. I try to get as many in here as I can because we don't have a setup until we can gather some data. So that's what we're doing. And unfortunately, this might be the first day where I stop recording before I get a break of a pre-market high low. Time is it? Almost 11. I'll say 10. Make sure we got that. Let me guess. 1 second. Whatever. Okay. I want to say that we're targeting all the way down here, but nah. Let's go to... Okay, I was trying to open this. Here we go. What the heck is that? That's the wrong thing. 2 seconds. Okay. Speaking of Apex, I just want to see if their restriction is still there. That's all. Let me just refresh. Gotta log in. What did I do? Busy, don't push any buttons. Dang it. Okay. Yeah, gold is still restricted on. It's still on Apex as well. All right, so that's gonna be it for, well, that's gonna be it for me today. I will be back. I'll be back to check on all this, but for right now, yeah, no more trades. No more trading. Okay. Feel like I need an outro song, but I don't like whatever trash song is playing. This one? Nah. Let's try this. Hmm.
So tight to the rope that I'm hanging from. Off this island, this was an escape plan. Carefully timed it, so let me go and dive into the waves below. Who turns the ocean?